We're in the final days of 2023, and of course everyone has their top 10 sneakers of 2023, and here's mine. Now disclaimer, I'm only including shoes that I reviewed or that I purchased in 2023. There are some shoes that I missed out on. I'm not going to include it because I'm not going to go off someone else's list and determine how good a shoe is when I've never seen it in hand or wore it in hand. So I've reviewed a ton of shoes in 2023, so I think I have enough to form a good top 10 list. And another disclaimer, to the core, I'm still a Nike and Jordan guy, so this list is going to be heavily skewed towards those two brands. I can't help it. Growing up, Nike and Jordan, they were the coolest. They are molded into my brain of what cool sneakers look like, and it's hard to change that. When you grow up, you want to buy things that you didn't get or you couldn't get when you were little. So a lot of shoes are from Nike and Jordan. Not all of them, but a lot of them. It just is what it is. It's what I know. And lastly, if you want to know all the details and my detailed thoughts about each shoe, just go to my channel and then find the review. I'm not going to go into all the details as part of this video. It'll just be way too long. Now, I do want to give some honorable mentions. They could have been in the top 10 list, but for today, they barely missed it. One honorable mention, it is the women's exclusive Travis Scott Olive. This is actually a shoe that was a gift from a friend, so that means a little bit more. I'm never getting rid of this shoe, and it's just beautiful. Olive is one of my favorite colors. If you don't know why, I did a review of the Jordan 4 Olive Craft. I explained why I love olive, but regardless, the colorway is just awesome. I love black sneakers, probably more than the average person, so this having a black base, I really like that. I don't really care much about the reverse swoosh. I don't really know much about Travis Scott, to be honest. Don't really listen to his music. Just looking at the colorway, it just really is a well done shoe. I wore this shoe over Christmas. This green, close enough to a Christmas green in my head. Don't really care. Yeah, beautiful shoe. Another honorable mention, it is the Air Jordan 8 Mikasa Esukasa. This is a beautiful shoe. This is inspired by Cuban culture. The colorway is perfect in my opinion. The Jordan 8, I don't absolutely love, but honestly on feet, this shoe looks super nice. And the box that came with it, inspired by a cigar box, absolutely phenomenal. And I think it was kind of slept on. I think if this shoe released early in the year, it would have made some people's sneaker of the year list. I think if I did this list again like tomorrow, I might have this at number 10 instead of what I have for number 10 today, but yeah, I'm gonna keep the list as is, but I did want to mention this beautiful collaboration between Soulfly, a retailer based in Miami, as well as Jordan Brand. With all the hype that brands like Armand Manere or Fragment Design gets, I think Soulfly goes under the radar a little bit. I don't see them miss much. I really love their Jordan 10 Soulfly shoe that they did. I love the Jordan 13 Soulfly they did last year. And this one, I think it's one of the best ones they've done ever. Another honorable mention, it is a collaboration between Kith and New Balance. This is on the New Balance 1700. It is the Rococo Red colorway, and this is to celebrate the opening of a Kith store in Toronto. Now, my favorite thing about this shoe, it is the suede. This is exactly the type of suede that I absolutely love. It is so plush, it is so smooth, so soft. I love the materials on the shoe. So there were two 1700s that released, one in this colorway, the other one is the... I forget what the colorway was. I actually reviewed that one and not this one. So the name escapes me, but both colorways are really nice. Couldn't really go wrong with either. Would have been happy with either one, but this one just felt a little bit more special. Another honorable mention, it is another Kith collaboration, this time with Asics, and it's on the Gel Light 3. This is a collaboration with Marvel as well, so they came out with a whole Marvel collection. I am a huge fan of Wolverine, so I really wanted the Wolverine colorway. Wasn't able to get it. I ended up with Rogue. Wasn't like the most thrilled about it. I actually did a whole unboxing video, and you can see the slight disappointment in my reaction when I unboxed it. But overall, I still like the fact that it's Marvel. I liked how special this whole release was. Super comfortable shoe as well. Really like the materials, the suede on the shoe. The colorway, it's not my absolute favorite, but I can work with it. It's not the worst. The green is the duller or darker shade of green, so it's not super bright, so I do prefer that. And Rogue isn't the worst character. Not my favorite, but she's not the worst. Also came with a cool Rogue card. So yeah, as someone that loves memorabilia with their sneakers, I appreciate it. Another Jordan 8 as an honorable mention. It is an OG colorway. It is the Jordan 8 Playoffs. As someone that loves black sneakers, I do really like this colorway. Don't love Jordan 8s, but I think it's one of those shoes on feet. It looks better than if you imagine yourself wearing them, like just from images. It's obviously very bold, very 90s, kind of got that retro look with the font as well as the straps. And this being an OG colorway, The fact that Michael Jordan wore this while he played, while he dominated and crushed the league like the peasants that they were, it just gives it a little bit more meaning to the colorway, so I had to shout this one out. Another honorable mention, it is Yuto Horigami's Nike SB Dunk Low. Yuto is a skateboarder, a professional skateboarder who won the Olympics and the 2021 Tokyo Olympics. I don't know why this didn't make the top 10, to be honest. Just too many shoes. What do you want me to do? Just too many. I couldn't fit them all, but I really do love this shoe. I don't think the leather on the shoe is that great, but the nubuck feels very smooth. Very, very nice. And I think the pink laces that come with the shoe, this one is not the one that comes out of the box. They do give you pink laces. I think it actually gives the shoe a perfect, really nice balanced look. The storytelling is great, execution is great, but compared to some of the other shoes on my top 10, I probably wouldn't put them above any of them, but with that said, still love it. And at number 10, it is the Jordan 5 UNC. And I'll readily admit, this is a complete bias, personal choice. This is my favorite color on my favorite sneaker, the Jordan 5. Now I do prefer in a perfect world where the UNC blue is broken up a little bit, so it's not just entirely blue on the upper sole. But with that said, with the shark teeth, the white shark teeth, as well as the black midsole, I think that looks really nice. I think that works very well. I was debating between this or the Jordan 1 UNC. I really like that shoe, but this being a Jordan 5, yeah, it's got me. I'm just a super sucker for Jordan 5. I actually doubled up initially, but I came to my senses. I've got too many shoes. I don't have enough space. I don't have enough money to just be doubling up on all the shoes that I like, so I had to get rid of one. And what I love most about the shoe is that they kept the netting of the Jordan 5 white. So a lot of times now they come pre-aged. That doesn't bother me too much because the netting turns yellow over time anyway. But when it comes right out the box, when it's white, it just makes the shoe really pop. Number 10, Jordan 5 UNC. At number 9, it is the Concepts New Balance 998 C-Note. And this shoe is a re-release of the 2013 C-Note that was released to celebrate the redesigning of the $100 bill. So the inspiration behind this shoe, it's money. They did add Concepts branding, which didn't exist in the 2013 version. And I think the way this shoe is done, the colorways, the colors chosen, it's very, very easy to wear. Super subtle, kind of earthy tones. I really like the shoe. Generally, I'm not like a huge New Balance guy. I know they're popular right now. I'm still not like fully bought in, especially the ones that look really, really, really much like a running shoe. The 998 though, however, I think it's a nice silhouette. I think you can wear it casually. It doesn't look so much like a running shoe. And this is the type of suede that I really like. It's very soft, feels kind of plush. It's got that velvety touch. It's very similar to the Kith Toronto 1700 that dropped, the one that I mentioned in my honorable mentions. That has that type of suede that I just absolutely love. I don't really like that hairy suede. I don't love that dry or coarser suede. This is the right balance. And as you can probably expect from a New Balance shoe, it's very comfortable. New Balance shoes do fit my wide feet really well. I don't have to go up half a size for any New Balance shoe. One little nitpick, if I had to choose something, probably the Sail midsole. I don't think they have Sail on the current $100 bill, so they kind of just added that just because Sail is in. Don't love that. I wish it was white. But my favorite thing about the shoe, it's probably the box. Just a beautiful box, really cool inspiration behind the shoe. I like money, I like the shoe. Number 8, it is the Air Jordan 23 Year the Rabbit. Now this is a shoe I don't think many people care about. I personally really like those Lunar New Year releases when they're done well. And I think this shoe was done really well. We don't see Jordan 23s come back very often, so when I saw this, I just had to get it. I was bummed I wasn't able to get the Jordan 1 Low OG Year the Rabbit. There was only 5,000 pairs made of that shoe, so the price on that was super high. This one was much more affordable. With the Year of the Dragon coming up, arguably the coolest zodiac animal, I'm looking forward to the Jordan 1 Low OG Year of the Dragon. But sticking to 2023, I think the green, this very subtle, muted green, works really well. And the Jordan 23 is one of my favorite Jordan brand shoes after Jordan 14. So the Jordan 20s, I love them. The Jordan 21s are super nice. Don't like the Jordan 22s, but the 23 is right up there. And the coolest thing about Jordan 23 shoes is the Michael Jordan signature along the toe box and the outsole of the shoe, the traction, that is based on Michael Jordan's thumbprint. Really, really cool. And throughout the shoe, you'll see a bunch of nods to Lunar New Year. So obviously on the tongue of the shoe, it is red, a very Lunar New Year color. Inside the tongue, where you'll usually see Michael Jordan's thumbprint, they changed it to a rabbit. And then on the insoles, you'll see references to a red pocket. That is obviously a Lunar New Year tradition. People will pass out red pockets to each other with money in them. And I'll tell you, one of the worst things about moving away from family, moving to the other side of the world, you no longer get those red pockets. So for Lunar New Year, no red pockets for me. It's like any other day of the year. But at least I have these releases that come around during that time of the year to make it feel more festive. At number 7, it is the Clot Fragment Design Nike Dunk Low. Now it's kind of an end of an era for Nike and Clot. Clot has obviously moved on from Nike. They're officially partnered with Adidas, and it seems like they're kind of moving on from sneakers overall. They're going more into like higher end shoes, boots, things like that. So I don't think shoes like this from Clot are gonna come out very often in the near future at least. So it does feel like an end of an era. And I, as someone that's Asian, I obviously understand a lot of the references that Clot puts on their shoes. So a lot of the ties between East and Western culture, I really get, so I really appreciate it. I don't always love their shoes, but one thing you gotta say about Clot, they always do something different. And I think out of all the shoes between Nike and Clot that came out this year, this is my favorite one. I think the Clot Cork Dunks are pretty nice as well. The Nike What The Dunks, that was like the conclusion of their 20-year partnership. That told a really meaningful story. They obviously had the Clot Cortez. That was a really cool shoe as well. A lot of really cool storytelling on that shoe. But out of all of them, this is definitely my favorite one. Fragment Design, obviously that's one of the more famous streetwear brands in the world. They've done a bunch of really popular collaborations with Nike and Jordan brand. And the founder of Fragment Design, Fujiwara, he's actually the mentor for Edison Chen, who founded Clot. So that's kind of a cool story there. And I think the uniqueness and the storytelling on the shoe is just really, really outstanding. So the upper sole consists of like a silk material with Asian inspired artwork. You'll see like the architecture designs of a lot of old Asian buildings on here, and silk is obviously a material that's been used in Chinese culture for a long time. And the silk material, obviously that is a reference back to Clot's earlier collaborations. So they've had a bunch of silk Air Force Ones that came out. And the upper sole, it is tearaway, so you'll see the 3 logos of the 3 brands that's involved in the shoe, Fragment Design, Clot, as well as Nike. If you tear away this material, I'm not doing that. I'm holding out for as long as I can. And overall, even though this shoe is quite different, you don't really see this type of look and material used on Nike shoes. I think it's still super wearable. The colors aren't like super out in your face. It's very subtle. I love the semi-translucent outsole. I think that looks really cool. One thing if I had to nitpick is I'm not a huge Nike Dunks guy. I think Nike SB Dunks with the modifications and the way it looks is much better than a non-SB Dunk. But overall, I don't love Dunks, but I think the execution is really well done. It's a bummer that Nike and Clot are no longer working together, but at least I got this one. At number 6, it is the Air Jordan 11 Gratitude. Now last year for holiday Jordan 11s, we got the cherries. I liked that shoe, didn't love it. I actually had it, but ended up selling it. I just wasn't wearing it at all. But this year, for holiday, I think this is a great Jordan 11 release. Now there's some people that don't like this shoe. They're complete purists. They don't like the way that they changed the usual ballistic nylon mesh on the Jordan 11s to leather. I, as someone that loves leather, I think leather is king. I think it's a nice change. And the leather that they used on this shoe, whew, I really like this release. I don't love the price point. It is $230, so I don't love that. But if I look at the shoe in a vacuum, I really like it. The colorway, the fact that the 23 on the booty is its own piece. It's not like printed, so it gives it a more premium feel. The Jordan 11s, I think, are a comfortable Jordan brand shoe. It's not my absolute favorite silhouette, but it's right up there. Probably top 5 of all time. It's just a really, really nice looking shoe. And probably the biggest indicator of sneaker hype and popularity kind of dying down in 2023 is the fact that this shoe was pretty easy to get. I just can't imagine this shoe sitting for as long as it did like 2 or 3 years ago. And I think it's a good thing. If you like sneakers, there's never been a better time in the past 5 to 10 years to buy shoes. So as sneaker lovers, we should all welcome that. Glad to have these in hand. Number 5, it is the Born and Raised Nike SB Dunk Low. Now this easily could have been like a top 3 sneaker of the year. This is a really, really nice and outstanding shoe. The colors and the storytelling on this shoe is absolutely immense. If you want to know all the details, go check out my review, but all the details that's captured is just outstanding. From the change in the pattern to the ventilation, there's a story behind that. There's a subtle 1 block at a time on the toe box of the shoe and the emblem on the heel of the shoe. There's a story behind that as well. Check out my review if you don't know it. The insole itself is beautiful as well. The outsole, absolutely outstanding. Look at that gorgeous pink. Not to mention more storytelling on the lace tips itself. The iridescent swoosh, that is beautiful as well. But my favorite thing about this shoe, it's the leather and the nubuck that they used on this shoe. It's really good. It feels great. The details on this, it's not overdone. It's just really well done. And honestly, any other day, I could have put this shoe top 3, top 2. There is another dunk that I prefer over this one. I debated it for a long time, but I think the other one, when I first saw images of that, it just really captured me. But the Born and Raised Nike SB Dunk, it's not far behind. Now, unfortunately, the founder of Born and Raised, Spanto, Chris Printup, he passed away in a car accident not long before this was scheduled to release. So it actually delayed the official release date of this shoe, but I think he would have definitely been proud to see the reception of this shoe. Just one of the best of 2023. I love this shoe. At number 4, it is the Arma Manere Air Jordan 5 Dawn. Now this shoe is one of 2 Arma Manere Jordan 5s as part of this release. The other one is the Dusk colorway. As a black sneaker lover, I really like that colorway, but this one, there's something different about it. Maybe it's because they don't use the burgundy on this shoe, so it kind of looks different to a usual Arma Manere shoe. And I think a lot of people were getting kind of sick of just like burgundy on another Jordan shoe from Arma Manere. So this change up, I think it's very welcome. I did do a lace swap on this pair, so I put like yellow vanilla laces on this shoe. Overall, it's just beautiful. The storytelling has always been one of their strong suits. You see the Arma Manere logo on the netting, even on the stitching, on the ankle collar lining. That is all Arma Manere logo. Just the attention to detail, outrageous. It's got Nike Air branding on the booty of the shoe. The ankle is slimmed down, so it's not that real puffy Jordan 5 ankle. I don't actually mind that, but I know a lot of people do prefer the slimmed down look. It's got the 23 on the side of the shoe. Only one OG colorway of the Jordan 5. The original Jordan 5, when it first released, had the Jordan 23 on the side. Arma Manere gets all the special treatment, and I think they deserve it. They knocked it out of the park again. This is my favorite Arma Manere collaboration. Personal bias, obviously. I love the Jordan 5s more than anything else. But in terms of the colorway, the execution, the shoe itself, the silhouette, it's definitely my favorite. And at number 3, it is the Jarritos Nike SB Dunk Low. There's been some absolutely great dunks of 2023, the April skateboards, the Utos, and I'm not even a huge dunks guy. But I'll never forget when I first saw images of the Jarritos, how I nearly passed out. I just loved everything about it. I don't know, it was that first instinct, the colors, the storytelling, everything working together. It was just so nice. The canvas overlays, I don't even love canvas, but it tells a story, there's meaning behind it. Go watch my review if you don't know the story yet, or if you want to know the details behind this shoe. I got the shoe way late. You can see I just reviewed the shoe. I even still have the lace swap still on here. I know some people do prefer the Born and Raised over this one, but I debated for a long time. This is my favorite dunk of 2023. I love this. And at number 2, it is the Air Jordan 4 SB Pine Green. This is controversial because a lot of people, I would say the majority of people, put this shoe as their number 1 of 2023, and I think it deserves that title. This is a great shoe, just a beautifully well done executed shoe. The biggest highlight of the Jordan 4, it is that they made one of the most uncomfortable Jordan shoes and the original Jordan 4s to one of the more comfortable shoes, just like period. Sock liner is different. They took out the air on the forefoot, so just Nike Air on the heel of the shoe. The padding inside, my toe box no longer feels like it's going to be strangled. The flap on the shoe doesn't make much of a difference to me. It's like this rubber, more elastic feeling flap. The pine green color is nice. It's not that kind of brighter, lucky green that they've been pushing for a lot of shoes in 2023. So I do like that a lot. The gum bottom, or at least some of it is gum bottom. I really like that, especially as I get older. That is looking nicer and nicer. It's hard to beat this shoe, and I get why a lot of people have this shoe as their sneaker of the year. The Jordan 4, I would argue, is probably the most popular Jordan silhouette right now. I think with the decline in popularity of the Jordan 1s, the Jordan 4 is definitely it, but the reason why I don't have it number 1, I can only chalk it up to nostalgia. And that brings me to my sneaker of the year, my sneaker of 2023. It is the Air Jordan 3 White Cement Reimagined. Now there's a few things this shoe doesn't have going for it. Number 1, it is obviously the botched release of this shoe. A lot of people got deferring elephant print on their shoes. Some people got thick, some people got the thinner elephant print, just like the OGs. They had the thinner elephant print when they first released. Unfortunately, I got the thicker elephant print. It's also one of my rare sneakers wins, so I'll take that. And another thing that I don't love about this shoe, at least for me, it's the whole reimagined look, like the whole sail that's applied on the shoe, the sail midsole, as well as the sail tab on the back of the shoe. I don't love that. I just wish it was a run-to-one release of the 1988 version. Maybe reimagine it in a different way and not just put sail on the shoe. But as someone that grew up in the 90s, I'm not gonna pretend like I was around when Michael Jordan first joined the NBA in 1984. I was not born, but I did grow up in an era when Michael Jordan was the absolute king, the absolute god of basketball. He's not even my favorite player. That'd be Allen Iverson, but in my head, Michael Jordan is still way up here. Number 2, I don't care who it is somewhere down here. He's just still the king to me. So there's something about this white cement OG colorway, the colorway that he wore himself. It just means a little bit more than like a Jordan 4 SB Pine Green. It's totally not objective. Fortunately, this is my list, so I get to determine which one I think is the best, and despite my few little complaints about this shoe, I think the white cement colorway is top 3 of all time, one of the best ever, on one of the best ever Jordan shoes in the Jordan 3. It's hard to beat. So with all the history behind this shoe and this colorway, it just had to be number 1. I wouldn't feel right if this was anything but number 1. So that's it. Thanks for watching Sole Inclined. Let me know what you think of my top 10 sneakers of 2023. What shoes did I miss? What did I get wrong? Like, subscribe, comment, all the good stuff. And remember, tomorrow may never come, so wear your shoes.